Since the signing of the Equal Pay Act in 1963, much has changed, but a small gap of 2 pennies per dollar still exists between men and women's salaries. With the understanding of facts and eradicating biases, we can work towards a more equal work environment for men and women. Given the circumstances of the Equal Pay Act, things have gotten considerably better. But there is still a small, unnecessary lull between men and women's wages. The wage gap is dwindling in present day, but men and women's wages still have a considerably different gap. Men have higher wages by 20%, and at the rate from 1960 to 2017, women are expected to be equally paid in 2059. AAUW states some wage gap statistics also. They can also vary from state to state. So I have some different percentages of the states and male and female wages and their ratios. The smallest state is New York, and they pay women 89% to men's salaries. And then the largest gap is in Louisiana, where 70% of women's wages were paid to the men's wages. Age also matters in payment. AAW states that women 20 to 24 in age get paid 90% to men's salaries than women 25 to 54, which that decreases to 78 to 89%, leaving them more likely to be paid less. Biases also apply to both genders. By implementing paid leave for men and women when they have a new child, this would contribute to making the workplace more equal. By paying a father to have a daddy maternity leave, by doing this one gives the mother an extra hand, and as well as helps her get more on her feet faster. And 2, it shows a less biased workplace, and it works toward equality for men and women as well. So imposter syndrome is basically when he or she thinks that they're unable to internalize their accomplishments. So basically this psychologist in 1970 noticed that the really accomplished female students that were coming into her offices were, despite their impeccable track record, didn't believe they deserved what they were gaining or what they were accomplishing. So her and Pauline, that was the name of the psychologist, her and her colleague, they came to the conclusion of imposter syndrome. So this was like taking place in very accomplished women, and they had impeccable track records, great grades, but they still believed they didn't deserve what they were getting. And they came to the conclusion that women are predisposed to this socialization that women don't, it's taboo almost for a woman to be successful in life. But granted, now in 2017, we think of women completely differently. It's okay to be successful, whereas it was a lot different in the 60s and 70s, even 80s. But there still is like little remnants of imposter syndrome in our workplace today. There's also many ways to address the gender wage gap. Women have experienced sexist and vague and biased performance reviews, We can fix this by setting upfront criteria and having a third party in the room present during an interview so they can monitor the process. The equal pay gap argument should be put to rest by simply implementing equality in the workforce. We should not measure someone's level of payment by gender, but by the effort and the outcome of their productivity.